2, 1. Yes.
Hi everyone, this is our exercise 4 for week 3, and we created our several Tableau dashboard and we regrouped together, and this is our final dashboard with enhancements made. So the very first graph is a dual line graph wherein we are showing comparison between two lines of CO2 emission in kiloton versus per capita. So we can clearly see that the emission, went from 641 points to 1355 points in 1976, and then it declined and pretty much looks like stable in 2016 year. If you look at the emission is in KTs, it's a 76K uh, and way back in 1963, and then it's starting and it's increasing every year, and now it's like 1390 19K in the recent year. We have also added a year filter as a global filter to filter out our data according to year, and this filtering mechanism will refresh our dashboard and just show the data for that particular year. Now I'll hand over to Devi to walk you through the next chart, which is top 10 countries with CO2 per capita.
Okay, thank you, Priyanka. So the next chart is scatter plot showing the top 10 country with CO2 per capita. So we make another like comparison as well, like the average from the CO2 emission per kiloton, and then average CO2 emission per capita. So as we can see, the highest number is United States with the average emission per capita is like 18.9. However, if you see in Aruba, the average emission kiloton is low, but they got a very high average CO2 emission per capita with 184.1. So it does mean even though the emission per kiloton is high, it doesn't mean the per capita will be high as well. And it's only show like the top 10 country. And then I will pass the next visualization for SORAF for the average emission by region and income group.
Thank you, Devi. Moving on to the next visualization. As we can see, it's a side-by-side bar chart. So what side-by-side bar chart is that it adds another dimension to a typical bar chart, which usually has just stacking into them. But this also adds a side-by-side visualization with visualizations of 2 dimension. So what this chart is all about is the average CO2 emission by region and by income group. So as we can see that in the highest income region, the Middle East and the North Africa, they have the maximum average CO2 emission, that is 19.19. And then while moving to the next column, that is the low income group, considering the same region, that is the Middle East, they have around 1.24, and close to it, the minimum it is with South Asia, where the average CO2 emission is 0.15. As we move towards the upper middle class, we can see that the average CO2 emission falls around 3 or above 3. And here also we can see the Europe and the Central Asia has an average CO2 emission of 5.86. So now I would like my next team member to input its views for the next visualization.
Okay, thank you very much. So the next visualization we'll be talking about is the map. So as you can see from the map visualization, we compared the CO2 emission in Killington by country. So this dark blue side shows shows United States and shows the amount of emission by the number. Then the next one shows China and shows the amount of CO2 emission in KT. The second map. In the second map, we try to do the CO2 emission per capita by country, and we can see from the big blue ball shows Aruba, that Aruba has the biggest CO2 emission by capita per country, and you can see other smaller ones. So if you move across the smaller ones, you see you can easily see the addition. You can see China is 166, India is 45, and so on and so forth. So I'll move on to my next colleague to explain the next visualization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Now, the last plot is a stacked bar chart. We plotted carbon dioxide emission per capita for different income groups in each year. We can see that the carbon dioxide emission, it got reduced with year, and also it was highest for high income group and it was least for low middle income group.
Thanks everyone. This completes exercise 4 for my group. Thanks for joining.